Alright, I think we are all set to go here. Hello, hello! How's everybody doing today? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day so far. Let's see. Should be good. Should be live. I hope everything is working out here. It's not happy on the YouTube side for some reason. I don't know why, though. Judgmental Cat, hello, hello! It's working? Alright, I'm glad to hear. Well, okay, at least the Twitch side is working. Is the YouTube side working? It is working. Okay, we are good. We are live on both. We are happy. How's everybody doing? Hello, Aiden. Hello, Judgmental Cat. Hopefully you are all having a fantastic Saturday, depending on where you are in the world. I know that last stream we were sort of like trying to figure out a lot of different things. We were sort of trying to mess around and play around a bit. I think I've got more stuff figured out. It's still a bit up in the air, but I think I have more solid concepts to work with. Went to see Distant Worlds last night with Mom. Doing great. How about you? Ooh, how was that? I know that, I know Lady Red was talking about that, and they were really, really excited. So I'm really hoping that that went fantastic. I've never, been to a live concert type thing, but just from what I looked at, it sounds like very, very high quality, very, amazingly done. It was amazing. Mom was super delighted to see it. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. That sounds amazing. Working on pixel art again? What are you working on? I saw the little characters you were working on last night. They came out really cool. Worth spending 5-ish hours on the road? Oh my gosh. That is a lot. That sounds tiring, but I'm really glad it was worth it. That sounds super fun. I was thinking about that actually when I was drawing some of these assets, because like I haven't gone to them, but I remember a lot of people way back were doing were really excited about the Zelda Symphony Orchestra when that was out. And this one fursuit maker I follow dressed up as a Loftwing to attend the concert, and it was really cool. And it wasn't like a cringy cosplay or whatever. Like, this was super, super professional, and they had like the right proportions for a Loftwing. And it was this giant costume. It was very interesting. But I just remember that they went to the Zelda Symphony Orchestra with that. So when you mentioned Distant Worlds, it's sort of like what I was thinking, and I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I got. There was a Moogle last night, though nowhere near as high-end professional as what you're talking about. Have you seen it? It's really cool. There was a Moogle. I'm wondering how that worked. Did a 1-bit drawing today, black and white only. What does 1-bit entail, Judgmental Cat? What is, I know most games are in 8-bit. What is 1-bit? Is it like what you were saying with the super limited color palette? Like how many how large is that canvas? Binary? I don't do the art math. 0 is black, 1 is white. Oh, okay. Okay, so you can't even use shading, so we're talking more like almost Game & Watch style, huh? Would that be one way to think of it? Game & Watch? It sounds like really intense restrictions, but it sounds like a cool challenge for sure. But yeah, let's see. I sketched out a bit more things from last stream. I still have a lot more to go in the line art department. And the other thing that I was thinking is that the more I thought about like doing the tunic, which is really iconic, right? the more I was thinking, like, you know what? I feel like most of us can't really, lift our arms, really, right? Unless we have a V-Roid or something. But I was thinking that if it's a tunic, and I don't really have to worry about sleeves per se, and I can just extend the size of the sleeves, I think we could work this out so that we can make Link's tunic. Because it's too recognizable, right? As long as I'm doing a wig, might as well do the tunic as well, and then we can also color shift that and make the classic green one as well. But I was thinking about that before stream. I'm like, you know what? I think we can do this. I think this is possible. So we might play around a little bit with that. Today we are going to be focused on drawing the bombs, the remote bombs from Breath of the Wild. Maybe a mask or two. I'm not really sure. I also have another plush to show you that I'm proud of, that I'm hoping to clean up a bit more. So that's exciting. And I did line art for the shield. I'm still trying to figure out the sword because making something where you can hold the sword is a little tricky. Showing my mom Final Fantasy, gonna be lurking and watching. Ooh, alright. Sounds good, sounds good. I hope she enjoys it. Are you trying to get her into the franchise now? All the best, Aiden. Hello, Grim. Hello, Dolphin. Hello, Sea Hero. Thank you for the lurk, Sea Hero. How are you all doing today? Hope everything's going well. Let's jump to our main scene here. There we go. You can sort of see what the absolute mess that I've been playing with recently. But we've got a lot of cool things going on. I know last stream we were sort of focused on, Sidon's plush. I still don't know if it's Sidon or Sidon, so I don't know if it's supposed to be like Poseidon? Is that intentional? I'm not sure. But either way, we worked a little bit more on the plush, so there'd be a arm asset here, so it's kind of sitting happy. And I realized like how many different arm assets this set needs, but it's okay because I can reuse a lot of these, right? I can, every single time we make a plush now, I can keep reusing things. We introduced her by getting her to play World of Final Fantasy, and she loved it, but now we're running the OG NES title, because she loves seeing it after listening to the music from last night. Ooh, nice! Nice, nice. Drawing while listening and checking in. Hello, Lime! Lovely to see you. My favorite is probably Cass. Loved running around the game and hearing his theme getting louder in the distance. Then you shall be happy. Because that is the second plush that I made. I was originally trying to sketch out Rivali, and I was like, if I start doing Rivali and Sidon and I'm gonna have to end up doing like all the champions, and I really don't want to. And then I remembered Cass, and I'm like, oh my god, that would make such a cuter plush. Because of the accordion, it doesn't really work as a plush that can sit in your hand necessarily. I tried it, the accordion's too large. But just as a sitting decoration plush, I think it works well. So I'm excited for that because I love Cass and I love his design. It's great. So I'm excited for Chibi Plush Cass. Also, I realized that, like, this probably isn't something that I would be doing, just at the moment, just because investment-wise. But once I've designed and drawn one of the sitting plush assets, I mean, I don't know, at some point in the future, it's pretty much ready to go, for, like, acrylic charm or keychain or sticker, you know? Like, this is kind of the setup that, is used in a lot of those things, so it's kind of all ready to go. I don't really have the investment ability for that currently, but it's just something to think about. Like, oh, if I ever want to. Or if I ever want to offer it, you know, that's another thing. If I ever want to say, like, you know, this type of VTuber asset can also be used for merch. Cass is amazing, but the monster mask is 100% amazing already. I do want to do all the monster masks, because I really want to do a Lionel mask. And, I don't know, Thorn might have fun with the Lizalfos one. So, yeah, we're playing with the masks, we're playing with the bombs, we're doing a bunch of different things. This was my little sketch of, like, oh, eventually make the mask. So that's what this is. It's supposed to be here. But, yeah, and then someone mentioned Koroks, so we might try to do that. A lot of little stuff we're touching on here and there. Eventually I want to add in the Silent Princess. That is my note to myself. I do a lot of visual notes. I do a lot of, telling myself visual notes to then eventually turn into something. But yeah, where's the... I'm trying to figure out where I'm going next here. I said the bombs, right? Let me try to figure out the bombs. Because I thought I had it before, and then I realized I got the design wrong. So I have to sort of go back in and analyze. Let me just... I have like a bunch of the... No one had any good pictures of the bombs like online, so I had to look up the Smash Bros ones, so I hope they're the same. But I thought it'd be fun, because what I want to try doing going forward, and I'll go back with some of my other asset themes, like I definitely want to do this for Pokemon and Mario, 100%. I want to start trying to do throwables, and I mean, it unfortunately won't work for me in my current demi form, because I don't really work that well in PNG form. But for anyone who's live 2D or 3D, I want to try using like the TITS or the K-bonk thing. I love the visual notes, a great way to keep a visual track of what you want to do. Yeah, exactly. I even started getting to the point where I was grabbing screenshots of things and then like throwing it into my Trello board in like mood board style. Like, this is eventually what I'm going to be doing. And it just sort of like, I think with a list, your head can kind of, what's the word? You can kind of overlook all the text, but with the visual sketches, you can sort of check it off easier? I don't know. Hello, Taka! How's everything going? I hope everything is going well. I'm, at the moment, working on bombs, but I was just explaining that we have, like, a bunch of other crazy stuff going on here. I don't have the, or you know what, I'll throw it up real quick. I can grab it real quick. I've got all of the more Breath of the Wild focused stuff, which I'm hoping some of it, at least, will repeat for, Tears of the Kingdom. And then I also, eventually... where are we? Where are we here? Let me just find this real quick. This is the other set that I've got going on. So we've got, this one's probably gonna be more throwables focused. And for the items, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do a symmetry trace because they're so, they're so mirrored. So many of them are mirrored. But these are gonna be all the different throwables. We got the bunny hood, that's alright. We got the pots, still into the ocarina, spirit stones medallion. I want to do a plush of the cuckoos and Keaton as well. And then Keaton is inspiring me to later go into at some point I'm like, oh, I could do a Naruto set. Even did the mask orientations too. Yeah, someone gave me the idea that might be more beneficial depending on what someone would want to go for. I realized that, like, when someone redeems the Kitsune mask, channel point thing, a lot of people, like, very quickly turn it off because they probably don't want my face covered for too long. And then I was like, oh, that also makes sense for the Keaton mask. That would make sense why having it in the side orientation would make sense. So yeah, thank you very, very much for that advice. That was super helpful. But I'm excited to do throwables for these classic pieces, and I'm gonna do more more niche stuff for the Breath of the Wild set. And then what was the... Oh, the other thing is, like, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about, how things are sort of worn for the majority of VTubers, and I'm like, you know what, if I think about making, like, a very general form of this, I could probably find a way that we can at least make the basic tunic, and then do a little bit of, color swap, and then be able to have the classic green tunic. Because I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get that, because I was thinking about how hard it is for VTuber designs to all fit the tunic concept, but I'm like, you know what, I think I could make, like, because the sleeves are short, and because I can alter how the sleeves are drawn, I think that will let me get away with doing the tunic, which makes me happy, because I wasn't sure if it would be possible to do. And then, along with that, I'm still trying to figure out the hats. They either have to be one solid piece, or they have to be two pieces, and I don't know how much I can convince a VTuber to use a two-piece asset, but it would definitely look a lot better. Those hit me right in the nostalgia, and 64 Ocarina of Time remains my eternal favorite Zelda game. Yeah, for sure. I do love Breath of the Wild, but, yeah, Ocarina of Time is fantastic as well. What was I saying that I was working on the bombs. I'm still trying to figure out the bombs. And then I also had to do the other forms of bomb. I was saying, on stream last time, I was like, the thing that makes the Mario and Pokemon assets so much easier is that they don't change that intensely from game to game. Whereas in Zelda, every game has the same items, pretty much, you know, minus the minus the game exclusive ones, but they're all still different. You know, like, they're all still... You've got, bokoblins in each game, but they're different looking. You've got the cuckoos, and they're different. The bombs are different. The heart containers are different. Like, so much changes. Whereas, you know, a Pokeball is a Pokeball. A Mario Mushroom's a Mario Mushroom. So that's sort of what started making this a little tricky, and it got to the point where I was like, oh, I've got to split this off into 2 sets, otherwise I'll go insane. But that's okay, I think that works. Then we've got, you know, the classic OG set, and then we've got the more modernized set that, again, I'm really hoping at least some of it will repeat in Tears of the Kingdom. I assume that a lot of it's gonna be newer, but I'm hoping that a few things will stay, and then I can make a sort of, repeat a few things. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder, the best I can. It's similar, but not at all the same. And it's like, it's, you know, it's good because it helps establish the differences between the timelines and the world building and all that, and I totally get that. And I really admire the art team who does that. But it definitely makes my job harder. My job, not really job of trying to provide assets to people. I love being an asset artist. I just want to be able to hit all the notes, so to speak. And it's slightly frustrating when little things like that make it a little trickier. Alright, is this right? I can't figure out how the... Alright, something like that, I think. Like I said before, I kind of messed up on this before. I grabbed a reference that was not correct. Should just stick with all the original stuff, even if it's not as clear. You grab a reference and it's like someone doing a like a 3D model, and it's like, oh great, this is perfect. That makes it so much easier because the lighting's consistent and I can see exactly what's going on. And then the more you look at it, the more you're like, wait, this is a very artistic liberty rendition. This is not super accurate. So that's the thing, like, I really strive for accuracy in my asset work when I can. That's probably fine. Trying to get that annoying little angle there. Did that actually cut off? No, it's... Maybe it would be a little smaller. I don't know. Maybe it would just be like... That's actually probably more accurate. Alright, and then... This part's probably a little too big. This is where it gets confusing. Alright. Let's try moving that a little bit over. It's a little easier to read. And... I can't quite tell if these are too... wide or not, but I think it'll change once I have like the lighting and shadow on it. Because I'm doing something without lighting and shadow and I know I'm gonna add it later, it's sort of messing with my head ever so slightly. Because I'm looking at something with lighting and shadow and trying to draw something without it. So my perception of how the lines should look get a little bit distorted. That makes sense, right? Kaku, thank you so much for following on Twitch. Hello, hello. How's everything going? Welcome in, welcome in. Okay. This is right. This is right. This is pretty much a setup here. Make this a tiny bit smaller, I think. This is probably detail that only I'm fussing with, but it would feel weird if it was off. I don't know. Sorry I didn't do this sooner. No worries. Oh my gosh. I'm doing well. I'm glad to hear that. I'm doing well. I'm doing a lot better. I was a little off last stream, but I think that I've sort of got the mojo back, so to speak. But I'm glad you're doing well. We are trying to work on Breath of the Wild specific VTuber assets at the moment, and I'm currently working on the remote bombs because I want to sort of turn these into throwables. That's the one thing, like, I really wish that they would, that there was a way to do throwables for PNG tubers. I don't think there is, though. Not that I've seen, anyway. My attention to accuracy is remarkable. It can be a bit of a curse. It can be a bit of, like, a, you know, not paying attention to the time that things take, but on the other hand, I do sort of pride myself on it at the same time. Just like, yes, I know that these are correct. I'm looking at, like... You want to see what my reference sheet looks like right now? Because it's kind of silly looking. This is currently what I'm staring at. Just all the bombs. All the bombs. There's no clean versions of the bomb, so I gotta make it, but I gotta work with all the screenshots. That's what it's like behind the art scene. Every time you see an artist on Twitch, they're probably drowning in references. Sound happier than Tuesday? That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, that was out of character. We should be good. Also, this needs to be a little... Wait, did I? Wait. I'm starting to get confused which circle I'm staring at. They're jumping on me. Alright, this is looking... bad. This part... Okay. What am I doing that feels off? I think this whole section is a little too large, and then there needs to be like one more section you can see off the side here. And then I think we're just missing that. That should be good here. Peekaboo only lurking right now? Alright, no worries, Murdoch, thank you. I appreciate the lurk. Am I staring at a circle? I'm staring at many circles, Dolphin. I'm staring at many circles at once. So many different circles, and I have to keep track of which one is which. This needs to be all pulled over to the side here, so that more detail can be shown in this direction. There we go. I was missing that little section there that was sort of tying this to mirror this a little bit, so that helps. And I'm just gonna push it over, make sure this is all fairly recognizable. I'm trying to get, like, I don't know what this is supposed to be. It's like some sort of melted metal in a pattern. I don't quite get, like, lore-wise what that is, how that works. Alright. And I think... Pretty sure that's basically it, right? Alright. Then I can try going back to the top here, which I had messed up before because it's actually much higher than I drew it beforehand. I won't be as fussy on this part. I just had to be fussy on the circles because they're a bit strange, you know? Alright. A little bit more movement there. Ancient Sheikah technology? I don't know if it has to make sense, but it's cool. That's fair. Reckon harder to replicate an art piece. There's so much pattern going on, you know? There's so much different, crazy pattern stuff going on that makes it a little hard to figure out what's going on to replicate. I feel like I need to go back and, sort of brush up on my Zelda history knowledge, because like the Sheikah sort of confused me a bit. I don't think that was a part I ever quite understood. I just sort of recognized them as like the ancient group that always has the very ornately patterned things, but I always forget, like, how it evolves game to game. Do you want me to go on an hour-long rant one day? Sure. Someday that sounds like it would be very amusing. I think this makes sense. Also, thank you for the save, Dolphin. Are the circles opaque? So the circles are opaque because they're like, a metal, and then the ball itself is gonna be this, like, intensely cyan glowing thing. Not sure how to describe it other than that. Alright, and then this top part here is gonna be... Let's see, I'm just sort of trying to even this part out, make sure that makes sense going around. Would we see this section? I guess we would, right? Ugh, perspective. No, maybe not. I'm gonna go with no, just to make my life easier. I think that'll work better. So much more dark than you'd ever realize, too. Well, now you have me intrigued. Now I'm excited. Now I look forward to your hour-long rant. Now I'm, like, very intrigued. Like, I know it's a thing from multiple games. And I know that, like, Sheik is sort of mirroring that, in a way. But I don't... I kind of lost, like, the connection of it, somehow. This is probably... Nope, this is actually a little bit off. Okay. How does this attach? Is it just floating? Wait, how does this work? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the thing that you can't really get from just one screenshot. How the heck this is supposed to work. Now it makes sense how it attaches. So I wasn't quite getting that before, it just sort of looked like it was floating. So it's going around from each end here, which makes sense. It's precisely that? Wait. What? No, I don't know where the connection is. I know that there's the entirety of the Shadow Temple is directly involved. I feel like I need to replay Ocarina of Time just to, like, understand half of this. Wait, I understood this and then I stopped understanding it. Alright. This makes sense, right? I'm trying to think of, like, how this thing is supposed to function. So I'm trying to think of, like, the 3D element of it. And again, this sort of goes back to a lesson that I was explaining one time on stream earlier, is, like, a huge part of drawing is just thinking about how it works in 3D, right? Because I'm thinking about how each object is going around. And when I'm trying to do this piece, for instance, I'm thinking about the different sides and what this probably looks like, you know, through the metal. I don't want to flood your chat with my Zelda rant. Okay, but I do want to hear your rant at some point later. Because I feel like I would appreciate things more if I kind of understood that history aspect that I'm probably missing out on. So at some point in the future, I'd be interested in hearing your rant. Grim, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch, I appreciate it. If I don't do it on stream, I'll do it on PC. Sounds good. Alright. And then, does it just... Okay. Then there's a little area here that it falls into. Now it makes sense. Okay, thinking like a mechanic kind of. There's a slot here. This covers it. It drops down. This part attaches. We're getting it. We're understanding it. I have no idea what the heck is happening on the underneath side, though. What? I have no idea what is going on here. Do I have any hints? Do I have any clues? Even the... Yeah, alright. I'll just draw what I can see, which isn't much. I can't quite tell what's going on here, but I can see a little bit of the raised pieces. I think these pieces are sort of floating on their own. I don't know why. This is the part that is not as accurate as I'd like, because I simply don't have any detail to look at. I'm learning robot art? Well, that'll make Murdoch happy, at least. I really can't see what I'm doing. Blue Cat, hello, hello. Welcome in. Hey, how's everything going? Hope you've been doing well. I really can't tell what I'm doing. It frustrates me. There's nothing that frustrates me more in art than drawing blind. I feel like I'm drawing very blind right now. I need to know what's happening at all times. I need to be able to know what the 3D side of it looks like. This kind of feels like a mess to me. Alright. I might try and look up more pictures off stream if I can, but I'll leave that for now. To save everyone's sanity, I'll move on to the square. Which has beveled edges. That I'm just now realizing exist. Did you guys realize it had beveled edges? I know I drew them with beveled edges, but that's something that, like, I discovered as I was doing this initial rough sketch. It's so funny to me how many, like, little details you realize for each thing once you draw it, because you're taking a direct action approach to the thing, as opposed to just using it in the game. So once you actually start drawing it, you start seeing these details that you didn't realize were there, because you're basically interacting with the object as much as you could, you know? Like, we can't interact with the game object, but when you draw it, you're basically interacting with it and trying to, how would I say, emotionally, like, turning it with your hand, basically? So you notice parts of game objects that you didn't realize were a thing before, which can be really fascinating. Try that sometime. Try drawing your favorite objects from different games, and you'll see that, like, you didn't realize some of these details that the devs put in. That the devs and the artists designed. Like, I didn't realize how complex Cass was until I started doing the chibi. Going good. Money's a bit in the dumps right now. Everything else is amazing. I get to celebrate my birthday here in less than a week. Oh, happy early birthday. That's exciting. Yeah, I can feel you on the first part, but I hope the birthday goes well. That sounds fun. Do you have anything in particular planned for it? Or are you just gonna sort of chill? You got a whole nother layer of appreciation and understanding thanks to the art talent. You showed us that clearly when you mentioned the Waluigi sticker. Oh my gosh, the Waluigi sticker. That makes me happier than it should. I get a weird sense of amusement from the Waluigi sticker. I made sure to turn that into a Twitch highlight, because I need to post that later. I am so amused by the sticker. But yeah, that's a perfect example. It's stuff like that. Stuff you just didn't realize until you get up close and personal. My mom and I are gonna have a girls' day. She's gonna pay for coloring my hair at the end of the month. Ooh, nice. That sounds fun. What color? I found a decent reference of the bottom of the bomb if you want it. Can I link it? It's like a square with concave edges with oval drops around the outside. What the heck? Sure. If you want to, I think that links here are blocked. But if you want to DM that to me on Twitter or anything, then, that could work. I have, like, a tight security on Twitch because I was so paranoid, back when the raids were a bigger thing. Luckily, they're not nearly as much, but I've got everything on lockdown. Purple to blue? Ooh, I love that. I might be slightly biased to liking that. It sounds awesome, though. Here we go. And don't worry, guys, I'm not gonna do, the line art on stream, because I know that that can just be very, very time-consumingly frustrating. Alright, what is this supposed to be? Oh, what the heck? Oh, hang on a sec. Ah, it's tiny! I think I can make it out, though! Thank you, Graham, I appreciate it. Alright, let's see here. Alright, it makes more sense to me now. It doesn't make that much sense still, but it makes more sense. Okay, I wasn't entirely off, but I get what it's doing now. Let's just quickly throw that in. I'm glad it's symmetrical. That makes me happy. Okay, so the reason that it was off was because it's kind of centered from here. Which means we're only going to be seeing the... Alright, the middle part is about... Wait, is this the right one? Yeah. The middle part is about here. You see, this goes into the whole, seeing it in 3D thing. The middle area is here. Which means this random piece goes here. Which means this isn't going to be shown much, but this is going to be seen further. That's kind of what we had before, but it's good to be able to confirm it. And everything here is a lot closer, actually. So let me just move everything. They still look slightly off-center for some reason. I don't know who decided to do that, but... Alright. See if we can... move that, think about that in 3D space. That should be good. And this part would show, and a little part here would show, I think, because this is larger. And this, I don't know, might be like a little bit of a sliver. I think... Yeah, this is barely gonna show. I'm trying to think of like where the edge of the circle even is. See, now once you have this drawn, you can, you can understand it better than anyone else playing the game. You can get a better sense if you ever needed to. I don't know what you would need this for, but, you know. Jeez, Vessa, hello! Alright, give me a sec. Ashley! Ashley! How's everything going? I hope you're doing well. Beautiful, thank you. There you go. There you go, Grim. You got to witness my party trick. Alright. This is done. Moving on. Moving on to the box. Moving on after I make this a little smaller. Alright, moving on to the box. Got this, like... Wait. Is this the right layer? Wrong layer? What layer is this? Alright. Right layer. Right layer, right circle here. What was I saying before I became Yoshi? I've completely lost my train of thought. Probably wasn't saying anything important. Okay. This is now getting tricky because we're kind of on a weird slope. I guess it makes sense now why the edges are beveled. You're saying something along the lines of once you have it drawn, I don't know why you would need it drawn. Oh, I was saying that, once you've drawn it, you kind of, like, get an appreciation for whatever the thing is in each game. And you kind of have a better sense of it if you ever, like, needed to know more of its detail, but I don't know why you would necessarily. I gotta go full laundry, BRB. No worries. I'm lurking due to stressful work. I'm sorry work is stressful, Grendel. I hope everything's going okay. I think I still need to, reply to you later. I am literally, like, the worst fox ever when it comes to messages. I'm so sorry. Ah! Alright, this part makes sense. Trust me, it's 100% not you, it's all me. I'm just, like, not... I get very, thrown off with messages in general. It's... I don't know why. I'm lurking due to grocery work. No worries, Dolphin. Thank you for the lurk. I know I go through the same. I don't know why I do this. It ain't great though. What I think I'm probably gonna do, like, going forward, I was thinking about this. Someone brought this up in a Twitter tweet. I think like for commissions and such, I'm probably gonna have like a separate Discord server for arranging that kind of stuff, and then it's like, it's not all just jumbled in with the DMs. And then hopefully that will help me, like, focus on the DMs talking to people. Because if I have, like, commission DMs and then other people DMs, I start, like, getting them thrown together in my head. So I'm gonna try separating the commission thing. And then, like, And then if I, if I go off topic in DMs or something, I'm not trying to go through a bunch of different information. Trying my best to organize things further, you know? I saw people on Twitter were talking about it because they said that they can't keep up with their Trello board because since the Trello isn't in front of them all the time, they sort of forget to update it, and I'm like, oh shoot. That I also forget to update the Trello board. So having things that are like right in front of you could be good. I know that there are some people who use Discord to like write notes to themselves. I haven't done that before. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll basically start doing that in a way. You can make a room for each project? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then like, it would be a private room for each client, and then they can, I've seen a few different ways to do it that are kind of cool. But then it just sort of keeps everything organized, and then you can have threads in those rooms or channels or whatnot, and then you could have, like, reference image thread and all that stuff. So it just sort of makes it a little more neat and organized. We shall see, we shall see. It'll be an experiment. A commission account, so they're separate? I don't think I need a separate account, but I think I'm gonna make a separate server. You know, a part of me was actually really debating if I wanted to just make, like, a separate section within my existing server, but then I also didn't want to force people to, to accept all the pings, you know? If they don't want, stream pings, if they just sort of want to, like, get their commission and leave. I don't want to force them into stream pings. But if you ever do want stream pings, if you're ever interested in knowing when I stream and go live, I do have a safe for work art-focused Discord server if you are interested in joining. You could set up a guilded server, use a different group in that server, whatever you need separate Discord for. I'm not gonna learn a whole new system. I appreciate the, I appreciate the, idea, but I'm scared to learn a whole new system. This did not go through. Thank you, Restream. Is that working? There we go. I think that's exactly what guilded groups are for. I don't know what you mean. Just remember to do official business stuff via email and invoices. Remember what Senpai said about Discord DMs not being very legally binding. I've definitely considered that, Vessa. I have a bit of a solution to that. I always do my invoices officially. I always do like PayPal email and invoices. I'm also probably going to start up on a second platform to make an optional thing, which is like third-party based. And then, as for Discord, it's really just for the ease of communication. But, you know, first and last message would always be through email. And, well, for new people anyway. And the reason that I want to, I'm gonna be super public and open about this. The reason why I'm doing a complete separate server is because I can actually invite a bot that can keep track of deleted or edited messages, and I will clearly state that the server has that kind of thing in it, and that's just to keep everything accountable and fair so that people aren't, like, changing or deleting things, you know? can also set up Fiverr. I'm not gonna set up Fiverr. I'm not setting up Fiverr. The reason why I will not use Fiverr is because they take a huge chunk of the artist proportions, and it is rife with theft. So I'm personally not a fan of Fiverr myself. That is just me, though. If it works for you, then that is perfectly fine. It's just something that I sort of want to separate myself from a bit. I like having more control over things, if that makes sense. The third party that I'm thinking of, that I will hopefully be able to advertise at some point soon, it is very artist-friendly, because it's built by artists, so it's got much more of a feeling of sort of, like, mutual respect. And they vet each person who gets in. I gotta sort of separate myself somehow. And for me, sort of like establishing myself as a different... How do I say this? I kind of want to be like... I'm trying to think of a way to say this that doesn't sound uppity. But I think there's no way to not make it sound uppity. I eventually want to get to the point where I'm sort of seen as a, how do I put this? Like I kind of want to be more on, like, the designer brand of things at some point, eventually. That's kind of like my goal. So I don't know, like, you have to figure out ways to separate yourself in the art world, and for me, I just really want to try and be seen as more of that higher end level, I guess? Kind of like Art Gun? My gosh. Yeah, that's a reach. I can't see myself getting to that point, but just sort of like... Just sort of a point where there's sort of like a brand name to things, I guess. That's kind of like why that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm trying to stray from a place like Fiverr. Is because I kind of want to build a presence that's a bit different. Eventually. I'm obviously nowhere near there yet, but that is the eventual goal. Still trying to figure out what's happening here on the boxes, and I still can't quite tell. I was lurking in a Zoom meeting, but are we drawing the bombs? We are indeed drawing the bombs! I'm excited, because these are gonna be throwables. I haven't done a set of throwables yet. You can throw bombs at your favorite Twitch streamer. Unfortunately, I don't think YouTube has the ability, sadly. But I think it would be... I think it's sort of a funny concept. What does that even mean, Vesta? I'm 100% throwing them at Taka. I mean, I think it'll only work, in one of Taka's forms. I don't know what his plans are there. I'm 100% doing the Ocarina ones too, so if you want to be like fully on brand. You want to be fully on brand. I've got the Ocarina of Time bombs. Grendel, thank you. I don't know why. This thing is right next to me, and I'm still very blind to it. Achoo! Ah! 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 Achoo! I don't know why. I sometimes just don't see the redeem. Maybe if I just made the redeems like closer to chat, then I'll see it more. I don't know why. Alright, we'll try that. We'll see if that works. Came back to Yoshi sounds. How did you enjoy my Mario Day picture? Vessa, it freaking made my day. It absolutely made my day to see that. It made me very happy. I'm imagining, like, trying to fight a cat into a little Yoshi costume, and it's fantastic. Absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10. If you think about it, I basically just am an angry cat. Fair enough. They already harassed me for not performing my tricks. The last thing I want is throwing bombs and other items. Fair enough. Well, if you ever want, the option is there. I'm throwing him a Monarch. Get Monarch to use these, that'd be great. I'm actually, like, I'm kind of, like, in a more, what would be the word? Slightly more confident mood, almost. I've been, braving myself into, approaching people and showing off assets and things, and I've had some, larger VTubers use them on stream, which makes me really happy. I'm evolving in my literal approaching. Don't you worry, I want these assets. Okay. I think the Ocarina of Time ones I will probably do off stream just because they should be fairly quick, but I just need, like, I need to be able to focus on the rendering a little bit and then just sort of get them out. Before that, I have some slightly recolored, Valentine ones that I'm gonna have out for White Day, hopefully in, like, hopefully tomorrow? I don't really know if those ones will go anywhere, just because it's a little bit more niche, but I figured I already have a bunch of things I set up from Valentine's. I can just grab some of those. And then, I had a line art for a rose that I hadn't completed for Valentine's, and then somebody, in a asset group was like, "Oh, I'm looking for a white rose," and I'm like, "Perfect. I'll just add that in for White Day and then give you the rose early, and then I can continue all the stuff and things." I have way too many ideas for assets, it's insane, but I know that I also have to be responsible, and I know that, I gotta also be, starting up the commission work again. But I'm never out of a subject because of these assets now, which is good. I always have a subject matter, even if we're, like, not working on a holiday. I always kind of have a thing I can default to if I so choose. Wonder who will be next? I don't know. I'm going to try and finish Zelda within the next week or so, and set up to be able to get back to working on commissions again. And then Easter, I also have to make sure that I don't forget about. I've actually got some fairly big commission projects going on right now, which is exciting. Like, I've got one potential one with a lot of different characters. I've got one that is sort of like a brand package, almost, I would call it. And I've got one that will just be cute and fun. And the cute and fun one, I'm hoping I can actually turn into some specific YouTube content. Believe it or not, I think I might actually be trying to make YouTube content. Shocker, I know. But that's probably gonna be one of my goals with that one. Not just a speed paint, but like actual content. Alright, is this... I think for the... I don't know what's going on there. There's something going on in the corner there. I'm probably gonna look up more references for the box-shaped remote bomb later. I think I've pretty much gotten it, but I might grab a few more references just to get some of these last little details. Especially with how they're sort of creeping up here around the edge. Also, thank you, Lime and Taka Invest, I appreciate it. Also, when did you Alright, this still isn't working. I'm sorry, Lime. Hang on. Ah. 2 days ago, there's been a buzz. One particular manga is now on sale. What do you think that we have the official... I remember you sending that to me earlier. I'm still personally just not a fan of it. I probably won't go too much into that on stream just because it sort of like kills the mood a little. But, not my personal favorite news. go. What is my personal favorite news recently? What has come out that makes me really happy? Like a general thing? I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom's coming out soon. Mario movie's coming out soon. There's a bunch of stuff to look forward to. I personally also want to try to get going on a bunch of personal projects that I think could change things up. Yoshi's Island DLC for Mario Kart? Yeah, that's true. I'm personally not like a normal buyer of DLC, but I can see why it's very exciting to people. Anything from a cute cat picture to a game to just a heartwarming story. Yeah, I think there's a lot of... Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom for sure. I really do not give myself much of a chance to play games anymore, to the point that I think a lot of people don't believe that I have or do. Just because it's been so long. I think I kind of come off as like, you know, fake gamer or whatever. Just because of how much I'm focused more on art these days, but I'm giving myself the allowance to buy Tears of the Kingdom and actually like get back slightly into more of a gaming mindset a tiny bit. Also, I can always excuse the fact that it is straight up art inspiration, because I've done that. I've taken Breath of the Wild and done like studies of screenshots and learned a lot about color theory and lighting from it. I'm one of the 7 people who bought the full Nintendo Pass thing. I got the Mario Kart DLC for free. What's the Nintendo Pass thing? That's different from online, right? Someone who's never been able to draw. I was able to sketch an idea, make it, put it on paper. Yeah, I mean, I get that part too. I really won't go into it much, but my main thing here is, my main argument is that it's not trained on ethical data. If it was trained on ethical data, I would be much more open to it. But as it stands, it's getting to the point now where I kind of didn't realize this. It's definitely getting to the point now where I can see which particular artists it's been trained on. Like, a lot of artists who I didn't know before, I will discover like a really talented Pixiv artist, and then I'll be like, oh, this technique that I thought was made up and kind of original is actually directly from this person. So that's kind of where I stand on it. You know, if it got to the point where it was opt-in and used on public domain and all that stuff, I'd feel differently, but as it stands, I can recognize where a lot of it comes from, and that's the part where I don't like it. It's the online thing? Free Animal Crossing and Mario Kart DLC, along with the N64 and GBA games and stuff. Oh, okay, I see. I'm getting ready to become a Zelda lore YouTuber. Talking of the Zonai tribe? What? Also, hello. Hello, Kitsu. I feel like I'm spending way too long on fiddling with the silly aspects of the bombs here. So I think I'm just gonna sort of, I can't quite, I'm gonna have to repeat what the handle was doing here again with like whatever this detail was and all that stuff. whatever this is. It was something like this, right? I just kind of want to... And then there's probably some detail going on in the back here that we can't really see as well. It's something like that, and I will refine it later, but I think we're getting a little too in the weeds. Let's see what else we can focus on here. There's a lot of different directions we can go, kinda. Maybe the Silent Princess would be good? Where did my references for that go? At least get that sketched out here. And quickly get the... Someone said Zelda lore, the Zonai is the biggest mystery so far. I feel like I've definitely heard of that. I just can't remember off the top of my head what that entails. I probably watched, like, a documentary, I probably did watch a Zelda YouTuber talk about it, and I just, I can't remember at all what it was now. Oh, did you not see that before, Taka? I've got, like, I got like a little plushie that I have a hand asset for. So we can do like the sitting plush. Let me see if I can quickly show you what that's supposed to look like. Where's the hands? This one, right? Yeah. So it would go like this kinda. That's sort of what I'm thinking with the plush. That's oh. Yes, exactly. 100%. Oh, that's great. Oh. Boy. But yeah, that's the... I'm excited because like once we've done the hand asset, then I can just sort of replace it with any time I want to make a plush. Like I was saying earlier, I was drawing Keaton, and I was like, oh, I really want to do a Keaton plush. And then I was thinking about foxes, and I'm like, I also want to do a QB plush. And then I was like, oh, well, okay, that's gonna lead to Naruto down the line. I'm definitely gonna do a big set of Naruto eventually. But, I was like, I could do QB and Shukaku, and I can add in Keaton, and, like, anytime I have an idea for a plush, I can always include it with this hand asset and it'll look that much more natural. And then any time where a plush might not work, like for example, as much as I love Cass, the giant accordion kind of made it impossible to hold in the same way. But I can always do a sitting one, and then people can have a choice. Because I'm really hoping to do custom assets soon after I've cleared off my current queue. Once the asset is made, I do want to use it for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom streams. Awesome. Awesome. But yes, the more plush, the merrier, honestly. I want to do all the plush. Because I just used to make them all sitting. And it's okay, but like... It could be much more dynamic and like, personal, I guess is the right word? And, like, I think both are still very valid, but one is a lot more interactive feeling. So, I'm like, okay, I've evolved to be able to add in a hand so that we can have any plush we want. Like, I'm actually really surprised. I was thinking about it. I was thinking, like, I was really surprised that so many plush were not being made as assets. And I'm like, wait, isn't this the weeb thing? To have, like, a plush of all your favorites? Why are these not in asset form? So I'm gonna be going crazy with plush. Don't start making Fumos or Suno will drive you crazy for them. Why not then? What if I wanna help him? Yeah, I was really surprised, and I'm like, the weeb thing is to have plush. Why are there not more plush? Every time I do more sets of assets, I start getting, like, more ideas based on, like, culture and nostalgia and all this type of stuff, and I'm just like, why isn't this a thing? I'm pretty much like, I'm gonna still be doing holidays because that is the most evergreen, but I'm like, I need to move so far beyond holidays. I just need to be able to offer, like, a ton of stuff. Oh, and this one's, like, a little bit more generic. But I also am... Where did this go? Where did you go? Eventually, we're going to have gaming assets. Like, you know, more stereotypical traditional ones. So this is a thing. Eventually. I definitely need to start taking these on commission though, because it is a lot to give out. I'm getting better with, like, doing a sample and then, like, a larger version, but it can be a bit much. Oh, and that's the other thing that I was saying before, is, like, having different types of concepts with things. I have loads of plush. Yes. I'm super proud of you for having the courage to reach out to Chibi. I'm like... I was so nervous about it, but I'm like, I'm happy that I did. I was like, So basically what happened is I had the original set out, right? And a bunch of people had found it, like, a week or so ago. And they were tagging her and saying, like, oh, look, you should use the Bowser ones. And then, and I was like, wow, it'd be so cool if she saw it. And then she didn't. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, that would have been cool, but whatever. And then, she had posted that she was going live with Mario Kart. And I just sort of, and I noticed that it had been posted like 5 minutes ago. And I just sort of thought about it. And I just sort of like sat there thinking for a minute. And then I'm just like, hey, if you want to dress up for Mario Kart, here you go, bye. And I was like, wow, that's gonna be like such a lawn shot. And then I curiously checked into her stream, and she was, I think she was talking about the Mario movie trailer. And then, and I was like, oh, alright, well, you know, that was a lawn shot. Oh well. And then, a few hours later, Judgmental Cat, messaged me, and they were like, these look familiar, and I was like, wait a minute, oh my gosh. She actually did end up using them on stream, and it made me very happy. I still think one of your first tutorial videos should be showing how to change the skin tone in the assets. Yeah, I probably should do that. I probably need to. Yeah, that would actually probably be a simpler one to get going with, and then I have a larger video that I have plans for later. Too much to do, not enough time to do it. I'm sure whatever you plan on doing will drive the VTuber asset worth. Thank you, Taka. I think they'll... I'm hoping. I've seen, like, so many people who get, like, really known for the assets, but then they just sort of, stop after a while. They kind of get, like, burnt out with it. So I'm trying to do my best to not hit that point and sort of keep innovating on things. Because I think with assets, a lot of the same stuff that happened with emotes happened with the assets is like people kind of repeat what everyone else has already done. Like the most common assets you'll see is like gamer chairs, microphones, holding the game system, which, you know, I think I need to have as just like a staple. But then it's like a lot of people kind of stop there. And I'm like, okay, but, you know, we don't just need custom gamer chairs. There's so much more we can do. There's a lot of gamer chairs out there. I mean, I know I've talked to Talk about this. I'm like, why don't we have, like, a gothic throne? Why is it always gamer chairs? Time to take over 90% of the VTuber asset market. Hi, been lurking. Hello, John. Hello, hello. How's everything going? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for the lurk, Grim. I appreciate it. I saw a gamer chair one time that looked like a coffin. Perfect! It's already on brand. See if I can get these little... I was trying to do I was trying to draw the rose the other day that I was saying for White Day, and it has these little pieces here that the Silent Princess also does, except they're really different from rose to rose, and I kept redrawing them like 20 times. I couldn't figure out how they were supposed to work. Giant cosmic crystal throne. That sounds fun. That would actually be a really fun one. I want to do non-gaming chairs. And a throne in general, like giant cosmic crystal throne sounds awesome. But a throne in general would be great because there's a ton of VTubers who I think that would fit with. Game chairs everywhere. I mean, between the RTX streamers who all insist that everyone needs a gaming chair, and then the VTubers who insist everyone needs a gaming chair, I'm like, I think we've had enough of the gaming chairs. But people still want them. People still commission for gaming chairs. Let's go in the opposite direction and make a really bad rundown stool with torn leather and springs popping out. Beanbag chair. I wonder if I got a bit creative doing an asset. I wonder if you'll try it. Have a two-piece asset, one for head and another to be still. What do you mean one for head and another to be still? Do you mean like, outfits? Because that's a thing. I was talking about that earlier, how, the only problem with that is it's very hard to get anyone to use them. I already have it set up for a few things, but there's a barrier to use there. It's frustrating, but I've experimented with this. People are lazy, or as some people say, VTubers are lazy, and it's hard to get people to use multiple pieces. I know because I made a mailbox, and no one used the mailbox because it required 2 pieces to put together. You needed the front and the back with a mail in it. Yoshi egg looks like you're hatching? Oh, I've had that idea for Easter before. Like you're sitting in the egg kind of thing. Wonder if it would be interest to others. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's hard for people to put together. From personal experience. I just need to do more research on VTube Studio since I'm not used to it and using / placing assets in general. I had a bit of a time with the Yoshi hoodie. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, with the Yoshi hoodie, I was looking at it a bit and I'm like, I feel like I could sort of alter this to make it easier to use. So that I think there's some things I need to sort of refine with that, because that's another base that I want to start doing is the hoodies. The hoodies and like the sweatshirt hoodies are something I want to expand on. But yeah, the sizing is such a difficult thing. I want to do a set of Kigus. Haven't, that's like a thing I want to hit on with different pop culture characters. The crack part you use as a hat? Yeah. I've actually had that planned for Easter. I've seen, I know what you're talking about. It kind of like, it looks like a chick hatching from the egg. I have that kind of thing set for Easter. Unfortunately, if you have someone else doing it, it can be tricky. Anything that's two-parter is just really hard to get people to use. It's frustrating, but from my experiments, it's usually a lot of work for not as much reward. And I've talked to people about this too, like some people who have been in my stream before know that I've talked about like how hard it can be to get people to use different things. Someone had a good idea here that I just missed. Wondering if there's a book / manga assets. That is a really, really good idea. Let me actually write that one down. Because I already I was thinking about the Naruto assets. And this is so off-brand for me. But just like from a cosplay standpoint. Also, Judgmental Cat, I'm just now seeing your redeem. Hang on a sec. Ah! I just need to write this down. To have different manga because, I was thinking of the Naruto assets, and then I was thinking about, Kakashi's book. So as long as I'm already potentially maybe drawing that, because I think I have a hand that I can utilize for it, and as long as I'm already doing that, then, yeah. Then it's just a matter of changing up the covers. Again, like, things that I would have expected to have already been made into assets, but haven't, so I'm gonna take over. Maybe another tutorial for the list is how to set up / utilize multi-part assets. Yeah, that's probably tutorial on multi-part assets, tutorial on skin tones, tutorial on custom color. That should be good for the moment. Fishing pole asset? I'm wondering how applicable that would be. Giant sword asset. I am attempting. I am trying to figure that one out. I can't quite figure out how the hand should be, because obviously anyone who's held a sword knows that this probably is not a good way to hold a sword. But it's the only thing I can think of that would show up on screen. But yes, giant sword asset, because once you've got this, then you just replace it with any sword you want. You know, maybe minus, like, Cloud Sword. But once you have this, you can just, you keep swapping out the different swords. I just very rarely open VTubing software lately. I'm kind of forgetting stuff. No, I understand that. I actually probably do need to look into VTube Studio just to, like, see what other people are seeing and sort of understand where other people are coming from. But yeah, for Easter, I've definitely been planning, like, the egg hat and the and a bunny kigu. Lots of different bunny things that I want to try taking advantage of. Bunny plush, bunny kigu, egg hat, chick plush. Because I did the top hats last year. And I did top hats and bunny ears last year, so I've been writing down to do egg hat and bunny kigu. How many little things here does Silent Princess have? I think that's all of it, right? That should be it. I think we're... Ah, tangents. I'll patiently wait for the giant anime protagonist hair VTuber Asset arc. I mean, we've got Link. We've got Link's anime protagonist hair. What other kind of hair are you looking for? Like, Kakashi? Goku? Yu-Gi-Oh? Yugi? Which protagonist are we thinking? Hold a stick yourself a reference. I did that once for bow and arrow. At least I imagine myself doing it. I understand what you're saying. It's just not just a matter of holding the stick. Like if I was just doing a draw and commission, then yeah, holding the stick for reference makes sense. But it's also a matter of like what works for the asset. So I have to think about a lot of different things that are like specific. Because like I was saying, this is probably not the proper way to hold a sword for battle, but it's the only way you're gonna have a sword show on stream. So that's the kind of thing that you have to think about. Curious, do I take commissions for custom assets? I do indeed. I do indeed. I need to like properly advertise and promote that. I do have a current queue. But since assets are smaller compared to the other stuff, it's something that I can potentially take, like, in between. Because I have, like, my focus on the big commissions, and then sometimes I sort of need to switch gears, so smaller things can kind of fill that gap sometimes. Actually, I think it's important for any commission artist to do that. To sort of have, like, your big pieces that you have to spend a lot of focus on, and then have your little stuff that you can kind of do in between. Not that you are ignoring the big one, but that you literally need to sort of step back from it and do a different thing, so that when you go back to the big one, you have fresh eyes doing it. That is definitely something that I've noticed is kind of imperative to commission work. SAO hair? Which one are you thinking of? They're not, like, that crazy, unless you're just thinking, like, Kirito's, like, black hair protagonist. Gon's Mylon hair. Colin from Twilight Princess, oh my gosh. Alright. Get the stem here. I'm not actually sure how the stem's gonna work, because I don't remember how I made the previous hand that's gonna fit with this. Because I'm probably gonna use the clover hand from St. Patrick's Day. Hands are probably one of the most time-consuming assets because, one, anatomy is tricky. However, if you're doing a painting, you can kind of fudge the anatomy ever so slightly. You know, because it's just sort of a, it's just sort of quicker to look at, and, you're focused more on the entire piece. Whereas a hand asset has to be really, really precise and clean. Almost to the point that you're doing, like, kind of a stylized, anime version of, I don't want to say medical illustration, but it's the closest equivalent I can think of. But it's like, it has to look way more accurate than your average illustration because it's, like, the focus of something, you know? So, whenever I do something that is, like, trying to figure out a new item. Also, Snow Orchid, thank you so much for following on Twitch. Hello, hello, welcome in. Whenever I do an asset that requires a hand, I always see if I can use it to repeat things. So the clover might end up being like my repeated asset every time I need to do something flower related, for example. Snorkid, thank you so much for the bits. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Welcome in. Hello. How's everything going? Are you having a decent day or evening so far, wherever you may be? Yeah, a little bit of curvature would work. I'm looking at both the main screenshot and also the item inventory picture, because the item inventory picture shows it picked. That makes sense? I can't get all the crazy detail on it because I can't quite tell what it is. But there's a little bit more of a curve to it than just sort of in the ground. Great day? I'm glad to hear that. That is good news. Happy to hear. Alright, and then there's always sort of the what would you call this? Not wilted, but, not yet bloomed, I suppose? How do I do this? I also try to think about what won't cross into someone's face if they're holding it. There's so many different, weird things to think about when it comes to assets. Like, I don't want it to cross a VTuber's face. I don't want it to look awkward when it's being held. I have to break what looks right in order to make it work. A sword isn't being held right, but it's the only way a VTuber can see it. You know, that kind of thing. And then the big one, I can't use things that require multiple layers of asset. Hope you're all having a lovely day or night. Thank you, Snow Orchid. Appreciate it. You don't have to, but I'm always curious. How'd you find the stream? I'm always curious to see, like, where people discover from and such. I forgot, did you make a Majora's Mask? Not yet, but it's in my list. So my plan is probably going to be to do the Breath of the Wild assets and the Ocarina / Majora throwables. And then, I want to do some stuff that's more specific to each game. So things like, Midna's mask, the Keaton masks, Bunny Hood, Link's hat. I had Majora's Mask written here somewhere, and now I don't know where it went. Let me just throw in a layer that says that, just so I don't forget I'm on a mirror. Hang on. Where are we here? Where are we? I'm gonna get rid of the mirror real quick, just so I don't forget it. I did have it sketched out somewhere here, and I don't know where it went. Swap sword with battle axe. Yeah, I guess that would fit a little bit more. But I can't not do the master sword, so... You know, I've gotta add that in there. I can't leave that out. The other thing with assets is I'm also trying to think of, like, what is the most applicable to the most people. Like, there's some assets that I'm just straight up like, I just want this to exist for myself. And then, you know, for other ones, I'm like, you know, what is gonna be the most useful to people? Like, the Naruto set is honestly probably gonna be like, I just want this. I just want this to exist. So I have to, like, if I'm gonna be doing a battle axe, then I need to know sort of like what the purpose is. I do have an idea for a system in place where I will, sort of, I kind of want to do something where I kind of negotiate, if someone wants to bring something more niche to life. I sort of have a plan in my back pocket for that one. Like, if they sort of want to be the one to make something happen, but it's not specific to them. I can't tell what this is supposed to be. I think this is, like... What? Of course I know what it is. It's the same flower, it's just not open. Why am I even questioning that? Create lovely artworks? Well, thank you. I appreciate that. For 4 swords, just change the tunic color. That's exactly my plan. The tunic and hat color, I was just gonna do a color swap. And I'm excited that I think I found a way that we can make the tunic work. How am I supposed to fit all 5 petals in here? Something like this, I suppose? I don't really know. Might have to reevaluate that later. Not really sure where to take it. Something like that, I guess. Yeah, that detail is not clear at all. That's pretty much hidden. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, as long as it feels like there's all 5 of them there. What other Nintendo asset would you like to make in the future? Maybe Metroid or Xenoblade? Xenoblade would definitely be good because I can, you know, reuse the sword asset. I don't know too much about those, honestly. Like a Metroid helmet could be good. Like, new Metroid game is coming out soonish, right? Or did they sort of switch gears on that? I forget how that worked. But yeah, Metroid helmet would be good. And other Nintendo property that I really want to do is, Kirby. I want to do a lot for Kirby. I actually want to do a ton with Kirby, but that's down the line, down the road. Because I love the aesthetic of Kirby. I haven't, I used to play a lot more Kirby. I haven't so much anymore, but the aesthetic of everything being like super colorful and pastel and very star focused, and yeah, it's very on brand. It's in redevelopment? Still in development. Remastered is out for a little over 2 weeks now, and 2 days ago, Metroid Fusion is available on Switch GBA if you have the Oh yeah, I remember people posting about GBA. We're about food time. We must go recharge. Have a good day if you end up stream before I return. Alright, sounds good. Have good foods. Good foods and things. Metroid 5 came out last year. Metroid Prime Remastered came out recently. Alright, so there's lots of stuff going on. I will keep that in mind. Metroid Dread is Metroid 5? Alright, good to know, good to know. I barely know anything about Metroid, but what if I just made a plush of Ridley? Is it Ridley or Ridley? I know that as well as I know the pronunciation of Sidon. Sidon. One of them. There's not enough, There's not enough ease of evidence for pronunciation with these characters. It's Ridley? Roidley Gretel. Grendel, stop throwing me off! You goof. You can also make Fire Emblem assets while there's already the wig for the main protagonist. I figured people would have done the wig. That's a given. With everyone memeing on the wig so much, I would figure the wig had been done. I feel bad for Mika Picasso. I think she did a great job, but people just keep memeing on her work. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased as a VTuber, but I mean, she's a very well-known artist in the concept space. So I was a little sad that people didn't appreciate her work. She's also the artist for she's the artist for Fire Emblem and the mama of Heikos Bells. I apologize for bamboozling on the pronunciation so readily. Rental. I think she did a great job, but that's just me. I get that everyone just wants to meme on her. But her stylization and color choice is something that is very signature to her work. Like, those bright reds and blues are present in so much of her designs, and they're very vibrant, they're very eye-catching, and she sort of made her mark on that. Like, she's very known for that. She can basically be, like, recognized for that. The proportions of this are throwing me off. There we go. I have no idea if this one will ever get used, but it's there. It symbolizes Princess Zelda. It's important to have. I wish I knew what was going on with all the other leaves, but in the inventory icon, it's super unclear. I think there's a big... Oh, is it like the root is being pulled up? Wait a minute. Oh, this is weird. No, wait. This is strange. There's like, the grass piece kind of goes all the way around it, but then this is like the rest of the stem, and then it repeats with like a few more grasses. I don't quite understand that. I might have to reevaluate that. I don't get how that one works. But at the very least, we basically got the Silent Princess here. That I'm over-questioning in my head. Eh. Maybe this needs to go up a little bit more. It needs to be like it can't just randomly be the shortest one. That doesn't really make sense. There, something like that. That feels a little bit more even. Fantasy flowers are weird sometimes. No kidding. I completely missed this part. I wasn't expecting that at all. Are we related? If I had a cookie for every time we're gonna get that question. Is she the lady behind the aquafish protect? Gosh darn it, Grendel. No, Lime, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. We can find a way to make it to our amusement. We just also happen to have, like, similar logo pieces, too. Like, my bow and my star logo are both broken up in the same way. Except yours is edible. It's cool though, because like I understand that for Lime, the Starlight part is basically kind of like the magical girl moniker. So like I actually go by it as my name. Whereas from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, for Lime, the Starlight part is the equivalent of saying like Sailor Moon. Right? That's at least what I understand. Exactly. Alright. I want to make sure I got that right. But yeah, you've got, like, you know, Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, and then, like, the magical form is taking on the moniker. But for me, it's, like, the actual name I go by. And I was trying to explain to, on Twitter slightly, and like I haven't really talked about it, I guess, but I prefer being called Starlight in most cases. I just sort of I kind of confuse people with the Akari part of my name. It's still a name that I can answer to, and it's sort of a secondary chosen thing. But yeah, it's like, it's not actually meant to be in, like, Japanese name reverse order. Like, the order of my name is how it would be, in English, and then if I was in Japan, I would reverse it. So despite the fact that, Akari is a Japanese first name, it's not the actual first name I go by. I know, it's really confusing, I'm very sorry. But there's a lot of reasons that I adopted that. I saw your name thing, I need to do one as well. I had debated on saying something for the longest time, but I just don't like correcting people on anything, because I just don't like bothering people with that kind of stuff. But I'm like, hey, fun facts. I still see myself using it in that, and in my demi-human form, I'm much more comfortable with it. Like, I could see myself using it as in, like, a splash art poster or something. Like a graffiti graphic type thing. I could see myself doing that. But in my Fox form, I'm definitely just Starlight. Alright, we've got the bombs. Bombs are gonna need eventual cleaning up. Oh, wow, the square here is a little wonky, so I need to make sure I clean that up. We've got the Silent Princess. I will figure out what's going on here, eventually. And what else do we want to play with? Is there any, like, last thing that you guys want to, address? Or consider, or think about before we might start winding down? I am trying to think of what we had as well. The problem is I'm running out of room. How many of these would I want to do? And they're all fairly simple, I guess. So... I don't know if this is really gonna work. I'm gonna hide you for a second. Was I going to work on the gauntlet as well, or was I saving that for later? When you say the gauntlet, what do you mean? Actually, you know what? Probably quickly do something with the tunic. As long as I haven't completely lost the layer for it. Shoot. We've got the tunic. Okay. I don't know where the girl is, but it's okay. We probably don't need her at the moment. Oh, okay, okay. That is definitely something I want to do. I do want to have an asset out for that. I couldn't tell if it was like... Yeah, I guess it is a gauntlet. I don't exactly know what kind of hand I want to do for that, or if I'm basically just adding it to this one. The thing is, we don't really know what any of these things do yet, so we're kind of going in a bit blind. And whatever you do for a hand asset on a VTuber, kind of has to be raised, at least halfway. So I can't do anything like here, down at someone's side. It doesn't really work. So I don't know what to do with it other than adding it to the sword hand once we eventually figure out the sword hand. Gauntlet could work since many VTubers have sleeves, no sleeves. The problem is, the problem is that, it needs to be seen from the top half. Because a VTuber using an asset, doesn't hide away their arm, right? Like, their arm is still there, so it needs to show upward in some way. More than likely be a package deal with a sword. Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll just make the sword one, and then, I don't do hand assets on stream, and the reason is because they're just way too specific. I would spend the entire stream on just getting one hand right, and you guys would be super bored. So, I don't do hand assets on stream. But once I eventually figure out how this sword asset is gonna be, then I'll just do a layer that's optional, that is like the glowing hand with the gauntlet on it. I just realized that also these markings go like all the way across Link's body. What the heck happened to this poor man? This game scares me. But yeah, if it's the no sleeve thing, I think that's what I was gonna address earlier, is, that's why I think the tunic will work, as long as I keep everything together. As long as I don't have any gaps. And it might look a little silly to make it larger, but that will cover my bases easier. See, this is the thing I didn't get right before with the hoods, where I need to go back and adjust them, is they don't quite fit right. But I'm hoping that I can get this fitting a little bit better. Because I don't do stuff with Vroid. I can't fit things as well with Vroid. Everything just kind of has to look like a everything is very photo booth based. Think about like a photo booth items. That's kind of how I have to think about my stuff. I'd eventually like to do throwable props and such, but I mean, I can texture for Vroid. I just I don't have experience with the specifics, and it's like I can do basic texture, but nothing like too crazy. Like this I could probably do. I can probably texture this, but in terms of my 2D work, they all have to be very open to a wide variety of things. How's this fabric laying? And that's the other thing, right? Like, Breath of the Wild is very cel-shaded looking, but I also have to render it in a way that sort of matches more of a VTuber look, which is more detailed usually. All of VTuber has Pixel's Sword and Shield. You're thinking of Takanashi Kiara, and she does have a Sword and Shield as part of her concept. She's actually who I was looking at. She has everything below the screen, so you don't even see her hands. I think she has a hand for the sword. No, actually, when I was looking at her gameplay of Tunic, everything was below her, she probably does have a hand specifically for her sword, but when she was playing Tunic, everything was below the screen. So, all you saw was the tip of the sword and the tip of the shield sticking out, like this. That's how it looked on her, that's how it looked on her overlay. Zelda scares me too. If I could pick one piece of the Triforce, which one would I pick? Also, wait a minute, I'm totally... Judgmental Cat, I owe you a Yoshi redeem. If you're not still here, I will hold on to it. I'm so sorry. If I could pick one piece of the Triforce, probably Wisdom. I don't ever see myself grabbing Power. And Courage is a toss-up, so I would probably say Wisdom. Alright, kids, so have a good rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever it may be. Alright, I think something like that will work. I'm trying to keep it as general as I can, but... it's just hard to account for everything. For everyone, you know? That's why custom would be good, because then I could fit it to each person and tailor it like a seamstress. But when I do generic stuff, they have to be fairly open. We're gonna test it. It'll be a test. I have no clue if it's gonna work or not. So we're gonna see. It may look good, it may not look good, and we're just gonna have to test things out. I'm doing a lot of different tests with this set, honestly. Lots of different stuff where I'm not really sure if it's gonna work, but we're going to test the audience and see if they like it or not. And if they don't, then we tried, and if they do, then we can keep iterating. And I'll just quickly add the belt here. And I'll have to, you know, spend some more time looking at how that actually functions. You can probably add the Sheikah slate on the side here. There's some things that I'm fine with assets just tracing it a little bit if it's like a very official looking thing that you need to get right. Or if it's like what I showed with the Ocarina assets, where it's just like very simple, so the shape matters a lot. And other stuff I will be more original with, like the plush and such. But you know, like a heart container is a heart container. You want to get that in the right size and everything. I'm not really sure what's going on here on this piece. I'll have to figure that out later. And then we've got the belt here. And then I'm not gonna do the patterns until I know what the lines of the tunic are gonna be. I think something like that will... no, I'm not gonna erase the tunic, because I probably need that as a template for the green one. Something like that should be good, and then the general pattern, at least, should be something like this. Alright, something like that, more or less. Gets us our general idea down. And then we'll erase this and see how that looks. Maybe we'll try opening that a little bit more. Make it a little less Lego looking. I think that's probably good. I think we are... basically pretty much good here, I think. And I would normally mirror this, but I think that since it's organic fabric, it will look better if it's not mirrored. A little bit extra work, but I think it'll be worth it. Because I think this tunic is just, you know, especially when we do the green one, I think it's just too iconic to get wrong. And then I'll sort of open up the collar slightly here, just so it's more applicable. No, it's actually pretty wide. Maybe I can get away with it. I think something like that will be good, and I can just sort of, you know, keep iterating and innovating on it. Also, hello, Corlith. I think that's good, and then we'll be able to do the green one as well. So we've got the tunic laid out, we've got the Silent Princess, the bombs that I'm excited to turn into throwables. And then I think off stream I'm just gonna, you know, continue finishing off and rendering these ones so that we can have a quick throwable classic set. And what I'll probably try doing, I really want to get out the White Day assets, but that won't take much longer. That should be out tomorrow. And off stream, I'm going to try to just get more clean line art done. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done versus like refined sketches and line art, but I want to see if we can at least start coloring some things next week. I can sort of bounce around a bit and do different things between sketched and line art and color and sort of keep adding, but I want to start doing some things that are colored for next stream. But I think that's where we are going to wrap it up. So if you haven't yet, definitely consider joining the Art Focus Discord if you haven't. And I think we are... I think that's everything. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, or night, wherever you may be in the world or the many other worlds beyond. And all the best. Thank you so much, Stargazers.